Hello, I'm Crafty Patty, and I'm here for one little last minute Christmas crafting. Let's make some beautiful Christmas tags that you write your to and from on the back, and then after they've opened their gift, they've got this beautiful ornament for next year for the tree. I'm going to take you from these simple little cutouts that you can buy at the dollar store to these beautiful ornaments, and I'm going to show you a really basic design that you might want to do with your kids and grandkids to some more little bit more detailed dot painting and some cute little whimsicals. So stay with me, and I'm going to show you how to do every one of these ornaments, and I'll have the full list of supplies in the description box below the video. So come and join me for some last minute Christmas spirit, and let's make some little ornaments together. I did manage to find these cute little shapes at the dollar store, and they're little wood cutouts, really cheap. You get 6 of them for $1.25. And these stars I did end up cutting out on my X tool engraving machine, but you probably can find these online as well. This is again cutout, so we'll do some stars as well. I'm just using Deco Art Silver Morning Metallic Paint. So just come in and try to paint all your edges. Get your one side painted, and then you'll let that one side dry, and then you can paint the other side. And you can paint this any color you want to. I'm just going for an all silver theme because my tree happens to be silvers, blues, and whites. I'm using a black jelly roll pen to write our to and from on the back so you can use it as a gift tag. Now let's find the center of our star. So just take a ruler and go into the middle of each of your points, lining it up, and just bring a line right through. And now we have our center. I'll be using the acrylic rods and the dotting tools, and I'll leave these supplies in the description box below the video. Paint colors I'm using for this particular one is DecoArt Color Shift Pastel Green, DecoArt Metalic Paint in Aquamarine, and Pearl Craftsmart Metallic Paint. All of these paints are just a little bit too thick. I can tell by when I put my dotting tool in and I lift up, it's forming a peak and it's really staying too long. So I'm going to add just a titch of water to all 3 of these to thin them down just a little bit. I now have the paint to the right consistency. When I put in my dotting tool, when I lift it up, you can see that the point is disappearing down into the paint a lot faster, and that's what I want. I'd also like 2 more variations of the shades of these that I already have, so I'm going to add this color into this paint well. And I'm going to add my pearl into this one. And I'm going to add my darker aquamarine to this one. I'll start with my darker blue. And when you're using these acrylic rods, you're not going to push all the way down. You're just tapping on the center point and lifting off. You're not trying to squish it right down, just a tap and off. Just to smooth it out, I do like to come in with my little dotting tool. I'm going to come in with my next lighter color with my acrylic rod, and we've made our marks with our lines, so I'm going to add a dot right on each one of my lines here. Now that we've got these dots, we can come in and place a dot into the center of those 2 dots. And if your dots aren't exactly perfect, don't stress about it. This is art. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to come in with my third color, and I'm going to use this tool here, a little bit smaller dot than my last one, and then in between those two dots. And then once you've gone around, you can go back in and put one in the center of those dots. This was the smallest tool that I used for this dot. I'm going to go up to the next size, and we're going to make some larger dots on my lines. A dot in between these two dots. And now let's do some walking dots with our lightest color, the pearl. We're going to start on the top line, and then we're going to make our first dot on the top and then walk it down. They won't show up a lot on the silver background, but it will still be effective. You start on the top and bring your dots down. When you come back up, start on the top dot again and then come down. We use this acrylic rod for our last dot, and I'm going to use the next larger one for our next dots to read on the line. With my next lighter blue, I'm going to dot on top of that one pearl dot, and then we're going to walk the dots down. With a medium-sized dotting tool, I'm going to come into my second darkest blue, and just about the middle section of here, starting about in the middle, and then make a good sized dot. Come in and dot that a second time, and then come in with your smaller end and then just drag it down. Do that again on the side, just slightly below. You'll see where the little corner, the rounded corner is right there. That's where I'm aiming for. So we're going to put one right in there. Again, come in with another dollop, just so you've got enough paint to bring it down. And I'm coming down to match up with this one. Into that little curve. 2 dollops again. Other end and matching up. Do that again. And bring it into that center. And do the same for your other sections. Now I'm using a smaller dotting tool, and it's also got a tinier end on this end because I want to be able to drag it through in between these ones. So now I'm going to come in with my third color here, and we're just going to place a dot in the middle of these two, but a little bit higher up. So I'm bringing it up in here. I'm going to do a double dot. Then with my tiny end, I'm going to drag that down into this one. It's okay if some of the paint blends together. That makes it even more beautiful. And you're building little flowers. And then in between these colors, I'm going to come down to my next lighter one just to give it some dimension. So we'll pop in another color right in here. Those ones won't drag down, just to add some more dimension. And again for the other one, same thing. And now with one of the smaller size acrylic rods and a very tiny dotting tool to drag through, we're going to come and make a dot this way, and we're going to drag it to the point. So let's come in with our darkest blue and a point right in the middle here. Sorry, a dot. And then with my smaller end, I'm going to drag that down to the point. Might take a few runs to get it to go down. Do the same for the other points. Don't worry about the hole for your hanger. We'll just pretend it's not there. And we'll drag through and then onto the other side. And with the next smaller acrylic rod, I'm going to come in and put a dot on either side of those and drag those down as well. And with this medium size acrylic rod, I'm going to come in with this middle color. And we're just going to fill in a couple dots right here. And one there. Once you've got your main dots in, and by all means, don't feel like you've got to fill in every space because you've got your beautiful silver coming through the background, which adds to your design. And now here's a little tip. If you've got a whole pile of little tiny dots that you want to do, then you can use these are actually henna dye bottles. And the little kit comes with a whole pile of different sized nibs with different size holes, depending on the size of dot you want to make. So I've put in some pearl into this one, and let's make some little tiny dots. So you need a little bit of control. So let's say I want to form a dot in here. Well, maybe I want that dot a little bit bigger, so I'm going to squeeze a little bit more out. Maybe I want these ones a little smaller, so I'm not going to do those as big. And you've got lots of control. So you just have a little bit of practice with the amount that you're squeezing on your bottle, or just do a little tip because it'll come out all by itself as well. But this works really well, and it makes it go a lot faster because you're not constantly dipping into your paint well every time you want to do one dot. These little tiny flowers you made here, now I can control it by just dabbing. That's all you want. I'm not squeezing the bottle at all. And I'm going to actually use white for the whole thing here, so wherever there's another color, I'm just going to add a white dot on top. This one I want bigger, so I'm going to use the tip just to move it around. Now I could have used an acrylic rod to do the center one, but seeing as I've got the tool right here, I'm just going to use it. Try to do the best circle I can. And now I'm just looking for little spots I could use a little extra. And you can just decide where you want to accent it. If you want to add more colors again on top of those last dots, then make sure it is dry before you add your next layer. The more you layer, the more it pops. And a darker blue in the middle of these ones. See, my paint dribbled over there. I'm just going to get that fixed up before it dries too much more. So I'm just going to take one of my smallest tools here, and I'm just going to try to work this up a little bit and take some of this off and do the best I can. And then I will show you how I fix that in a minute. So if that happens to you, I've got some makeup Q-tips. I've got the nice point on them. So I'm just going to dip this in a little tiny bit of water. Just a little bit. Just going to squish it in there. And then I'm going to just carefully go in here and see if I can get that blob of blue out of there. There we go, all fixed up. Now, if you don't want to do all these precise dots, then I have another one for you that's really super easy. So keep watching. I'm going to use my purple acrylic rod dotting tool. And I'm just going to go over this whole thing with my darkest teal color, and I'm just going to make dots everywhere. No rhyme or reason, just stick them in there. So I will keep going, and I'll get back to you when I've got a bunch of dots on this whole star. When you're doing your dots, always have some come off the side. That makes it look just more organic, natural, whatever you want to call it. Because, I mean, if you're looking at patterns, they're not all going to be just all in the center. And then once you've got most of your bigger dots done, you can come in into the gaps where you don't have any dots and make a few smaller dots. Then whatever tool will fit, just come in and make some smaller ones in the other spaces. And I'm going to use the same color. And fill in some more spaces with smaller dots. And once you've got your first layer of dots on, make sure you give it a dry before you add your accent dots on top. And then come in with your white for your centers, and you're done. A real fast one, but effective, don't you think? And for this little snowflakes, and I'm just going to come right into the center and do one dot. Don't worry about the hole, just go right over the hole. And using my largest acrylic rod, using one of my smaller dotting tools, I'm going to just make one dot on each of the points here. And then just go in the middle. Using my acrylic rod again, just enough size to get into the middle of the snowflake here. Normally I work from the inside out, but that's okay. I'm just kind of going where I kind of feel where the design's happening. And then I'll use my smaller point on one of them, and let's draw it out to the end here. And then place it in the middle here so I can get the little spokes of the snowflake coming out like this. Like so. And then let's do one up this way. And then again, put the little sides in. And now I'm just going to go from the large center circle out to this one, drawing a line. And then come in and do your little bees. And then a smaller rod to add some more circles in here. And now let's do some accenting. I'm coming in with my pearl for a center dot inside the turquoise. And another smaller rod so you can get a smaller dot into the smaller blue ones. And finding a rod that will fit in the middle circle here. And let this dry with your blow dryer if you like before you add your next layer. And using my little squeeze bottle, I'm going to go around the center here, making lots of small dots. You can look for areas where you want to add your accent dots. I'll put one in the middle of these. And I just realized I forgot my spokes in here. And last round, where I'll add just one more drop of my blue in the center. And one last blue in the center. And there we have our painted snowflake. And what should we do with this cute little deer? We've already got some white here, so let's just give him some white antlers. Now you can use any color you want, but I thought it would be kind of cute to give him some little red shoes. So I'm going to put a little blanket on his back here. Let's give him a scarf. And how about we give him a little hat too? And then once you've got your base color down, you can come in and add some more colors if you want. And this is just what was coming to me at the time. You can do whatever you want. This is just giving you some ideas on how to decorate these little wood characters. And if you want to do additional little accents, these Uniball Signo pens work great for that. They're gel pens, dots. And then let's give them some little tassels. Gold, a little off the scarf, and maybe off the blanket as well. And what else can we add? Why don't we give him a couple little stars in his little blanket? And whatever your mind comes up with, go for it. I'm going to actually just put an outline of gold on his little scarf just to make it pop a bit more. And I think I'll just go over my gold paint, my yellow paint. That looks better. Makes it pop a bit more. And one accent across his little feet. A little eye. And let's give him a happy little smile. And that's all it takes to put a little bit of paint on these guys and turn them into something really adorable. And here's a real simple design for your trees using the black Jelly Roll pen. Let's just put a string of Christmas lights on. Let's start here, go up here, and then let's go down there. And just taking a paintbrush and just make little dots to represent your Christmas lights. And Posca pens work really great too if you want some metallic golds and silvers or other colors. They have a thicker nib than the Uni pens. So we'll just come in and put in some Christmas tree bulbs now, wherever you want them. And being as I've got some blue here, let's give it a little base of pretty blue. Because you can't really see the gold balls, so I'm just going to outline them. And maybe we need just a few more fun little Christmas balls, so I'm coming with my Jelly Roll pens, and you can just fill your boots and just put some more Christmas ornaments wherever you want. Let's fill it right up. It's a decorated tree now. Once your ornaments are thoroughly dry, you can come in with a coat of Mod Podge. I like to use a gloss, and that will seal them up and give them an extra bit of shine. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed making your last-minute Christmas ornaments and Christmas tags. I thank you all very much for all your support through the year and wishing you all a very merry, happy holiday. Bye-bye for now.